Oh, really?
I did it on purpose.
I mean,
You see that? I was just waiting.
You just wait. I mean, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Welcome to Saturday, guys. Let's just open with that. Welcome to the show. We are your hosts. I am Dean. This is my partner, Fernando. And today, we're going to take your questions. We're going to talk about some cool new stuff. Even though this isn't the news, we're still going to talk about some cool new stuff. Oh, we're wearing the same shirt.
Wow.
Yeah. This is actually the same shirt.
Yeah.
I didn't think I did that.
It's not the same.
No, it is, because you have the
Similar.
same.
This is a small.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Anyways, we also have DSP Talk a little later today. We're going to look at some Moscone stuff. We got some show and tell we're going to do. So it is going to be a jam-packed show for sure. So I'm pretty excited about that. We'll talk about some fun and excitement. What's up, Brad? How's the hot pad going? Anyways, is that a sub box on Anna's right shoulder for the Morel? Correct. That is the sub box for the Morel.
Thank you, Christian, for sharing the video of the Android.
Apparently, as we found out, Facebook does not like Android. Who knew?
Doesn't like the reels.
You know, if you're not on my team, you suck. It's just what it is. These strange cabinets that you see behind Fernando as well as over here behind my shoulder, these are not made to be here. We bought cabinets to put up front on our road trip, and before we had some time, so we started putting them together, and we don't have any place to put them yet, so they're conveniently just sitting here in frame. So sorry about that. This is going to bug me to the whole show, so I'll just fix it now. There we go. Okay.
That's wrong.
Yeah, it's better.
Crooked.
It's okay. Of course it's crooked. Either way, we got fun and excitement. Could you pull up that first sponsor so we can get that out of the way here really quick and we can stay on point for the show, which would be fantastic. Hope everyone had a good week. Starting out the show for the first couple minutes of the show, it's going to be brought to you by the fine folks at thinkwhereastore.com. I really hope you guys have been taking advantage of this, getting your dash cams in. We never took the thing out of your car for the road trip.
But I disconnected.
Oh, you disconnected it?
Yeah, I haven't used it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's not good. But we did put one in Fernando's car. You guys are going to see a video on that here shortly. We're pretty excited. Head over to thinkwhereastore.com because there are some deals happening right now, and you want to take advantage of those so that you, too,
you can get $20 off.
Can feel like, hey, I feel safer now. So thinkwhereastore.com is the place we want to go. First question, Dean, do you agree with Andy Waymire more than Brian Mitchell? You got to give me more information other than that. The reality is they're both great guys. I've taught a class with Andy at Master Tech.
We taught a class with Brian?
I've never taught a class with Brian.
Really?
Yeah, we do a podcast. We are giving up on the podcast. Could you imagine us in a classroom?
No, but like that, I mean, that would be fun.
As far as you'd have to tell me what I agree and disagree on, because the both of them are very strongly opinionated, and they both know that, and they both feel that they are right. And in some cases, I don't think either one of them are necessarily wrong. And I respect both of them very much. So anything they do say, I'm going to ponder a lot. Andy has some really great stuff that he talks about, which is fantastic.
So, William,
you know what video I still have that's been sitting on my hard drive, which I just found that I forgot what it was.
No, but
remember?
You tell me.
When the first Indy we went to, when he was talking about wattage for a tweeter, and
Andy?
And I recorded it, and it's just audio because you can't see him. But I think I should. It's on my other laptop. It's not on this one. But I was like, man, we should just have it and put it up, like play it on one of the shows, just to hear him talk about wattage to a tweeter, because that's where we got our foundation for trying to make people understand.
Is there any way that you can make some form of a artwork when he's playing, and then you put some, like pop-ups?
No, it's all there. I was recording the PowerPoint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have the PowerPoint.
Oh, no,
that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I just never knew what to do with it. I just recorded it, and I was like, we should just throw this on one of the shows and let everyone just listen to it.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure out. We'll have to do that one time. Jody, you are welcome. That was pretty cool. For those of you guys that follow us on Instagram, you got the pleasure today of seeing a throwback Isuzu with a freaking Corvette motor in it. It was really cool. The gentleman who owns it did all the painting all by himself. He had another friend of ours do the install or do the woodwork. I think he did the upholstery. I think that's his thing, upholstery and paint. But dude, it was, I don't know how perfect it is to the original, but damn, it was close enough for me. I'll gladly take the Mandela effect on this one. I really enjoyed it. I was like, dude, apparently he's a customer of Paul's. It's so I was like, you got to let me see this thing. He's like, yeah, he played it for me. That's so loud. It's so, oh my gosh. But yeah, for those of you guys, PPI fans, just head over to the Instagram page, check out what we saw today. Good evening, everyone. Looking forward to the Dean and Fernando show. I am too. Hold on. What is Melissa talking about?
I mean, that's this question.
Oh, for your customer that doesn't have high spending budget, do you guys have an economic package for what you offer? Always. You have to, man. And I think they use the Kenwood 6x9s. 6x9 is in a 69, yeah, 8, all that. It's a 6903 and an 802.5 is basically what she's getting at there. And she's correct. It's definitely one of our most popular packages. The 6903 is a 6x9, a Kenwood Excellence 6x9, so you get a 2-year warranty. It has a coaxial 3.5 that can be bi-amp depending on how you want to go crazy on it. And we do multiple things with it. So, for example, sometimes we'll put the kicker key on it. That, you know, if it's a base model audio system and somebody wants a really nice front stage upgrade, a key 200.4 is a great way to do that, where it'll give us, you know, active 1 and 2 on the 3.5s, active 3 and 4 on the mid bass. The 802.5 is wonderful if we're doing like an aftermarket radio where we're going to have an EQ in the radio so that we can do equalization. The key would be if we're hooking it up to a factory radio, a base model factory radio. And then in the 802.5, that'll be channels 1 and 2, channels 3 and 4. And then the 5th channel will go off to a subwoofer. When we're doing like a key, sometimes we'll just do like a P300.1 or 310 Rockford, or we'll do the key 500.1 off to something else. So it just depends on the situation. But all those systems are relatively reasonably priced. So
I just add, like, you got to be careful because some of these cars, they have factory amplified systems.
Well, yeah.
And that would change the whole thing.
That would change the whole thing, 100%. But these are base model systems. So this is like, you know, if you got like a
basic car
with 4-channel, you know, front and left, rear, maybe it has, you know, tweeters, but it's just left, right, front, rear. We're concentrating on the front.
And Melissa is right, yes.
Yeah, but yes, that's a great upgrade. We also have Focal makes the auditor line. They make the integration line. It's like an F-150. They have the plug and play line, which is really nice too. Today we did a really nice basic upgrade in a F-150 where we put in, he had the 3.5-inch radio. We took that out. We put in the Sony 4000. So he got an infotainment upgrade. So went right from little tiny crappy screen to 7.5 or 7 inches of wireless CarPlay / Android Auto. Bigger screen to see his backup camera on. Definitely a better sound out to. We went with some Power Bass plug and plays. Power Bass plug and plays are phenomenal entry level speaker, I guess you could call them. Cost effective. The nice thing about those speakers is I don't have to sell, as well as the Focal integration, or what they call Focal inside. I don't have to sell you brackets. So I don't have to sell you foam and brackets and screws and all this other stuff and clips. They simply just go in. So sometimes the benefit of buying the plug and play or integration speakers is you don't have to buy all this extra crap to put them in the car, which is really kind of nice. So yeah, we go from, oh my God, really, to, oh, that's not bad. Whenever you fall in between, we try. Our goal is to make a system that makes the most sense for the individual. You know, like the other day when we did the Lexus. Mm-hmm. You know, the Lexus. He had 2 problems. One,
we did a Lexus.
Yeah, the sports car, the 4-door sports car, SL whatever, or LS SL4 whatever. Yeah, we did the 3.5 cross dash. Mm-hmm. You remember? And we put the sub in the trunk. But yeah, blue one, the pretty blue one.
Oh, the blue one. Yes. I remember the pretty blue one.
Yeah. Anyway, so we had a guy come in. It was an SL, a newer SL, and his biggest complaint was there's no treble.
That was an IS.
Okay, IS. IS. Thank you. So there was no treble in the front. I put up a bunch of pictures of the speaker brackets we made for it. Mm-hmm. But he was like, "There's no treble in the front, and there's no bass." So easy enough. We went with a key lock on a Rockford P, because he also wanted something small. So we went with the P 310 with a key lock. And then we put 3 of the Kenwood 3.5s, the C3s that they're talking about, across the front stage. Now, it actually turned out it did have a coaxial in the dash, but the center channel was not. It was just a single cone. So we put a new coaxial in the center. And then we actually tried, because once we saw what it was and there was a coaxial, we were like, crap. And we tried 4 different 3.5s, I think, before we actually just went with my original thought, which was the C3s.
And when we say we try, it's like we put it on,
yes,
and we listen to it.
Yeah, an A/B between what was there from the factory and what we were putting in, because there's no point unless we actually make a difference. And so we spent about a half hour trying out different 3.5s before we were like, oh no, the C3s are kicking it.
Yes.
Yeah. No. And then it was, we had 2 to choose from. It was like a CS kicker, which initially he thought was going to be it. And I was like, let's just throw the Kenwoods in now and see. And it was like, oh no, the Kenwoods were just, they were both very loud, but the Kenwood sounded more natural and had a better sound to them. So that's the one we went with, which we could have just done that from the beginning, but I like to be thorough, damn it, as we can tell by the answer to this question.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. Give me what you got.
I don't got nothing.
There's a whole bunch of them up there. I looked at the. Okay, hold on. What is he saying? 14 Sierra with Bose. That's it. Head unit.
All right.
The factory head. As far as a 14-18, that's a pack piece. Like if that's an Amp Pro, because Amp Pro goes up into that model. You want that one. Knowing what you know about upcoming products, get a Blackbird now or wait for something else. Oh no. The Blackbird is not, there's nothing at all happening to the Blackbird.
Get it out.
Yeah, there's no reason not. The Blackbird is the future of ARC audio as far as integration goes. Integration amplifiers, let me rephrase that. Yeah, there's nothing coming out. If anything, and there again, these are, there's like nothing within the next 6 months. But if there were anything to come out, and trust me, I've been begging, like, we need it. And they're like, why? I'm like, but no, the Blackbird is going to stay the way it is for a while now. There's nothing that's going to come out in the next 6 months, maybe even a year. I don't know. Brad can answer that, but he's not going to.
Can you recommend an aftermarket alternator and explain when do you need to upgrade it?
Man, this is a tough one, because really when you look at the aftermarket alternator world, you're looking at an older vehicle that this is going to be more beneficial on. Some of these newer vehicles, I'm going to go like 2020 and up. You don't want to mess with the electrical system in these cars. They are picky. Yeah. They're smart. They start doing really stupid stuff. What's the company that Steve makes the pulleys for?
Macman?
Macman alternator seems to be one of the more popular ones. I'm sure in the comments someone will cue in. There's like Ohio Generator, I think, is another one. Yeah. Now, the reality is most individuals, most people that are just going to put like 2 amplifiers in the car that are normal amounts of power, you're fine. And in some cases, even the guys that go a little bit sideways on them, as long as you're adding a second battery to increase your capacitance and maybe plugging that into the wall once a week, are fine also.
US alternator.
That's
there
it.
You
US
go.
Alternator. JP alternator. See, I knew they would. I knew they'd do that.
Lisa knows everything.
Get ready to turn that off for me in 30 seconds. I haven't put an alternator in a car in a very, very long time. If you're building a super system, the alternator is probably not a bad idea. It's actually a really good idea. But if you're looking at an 8K, a 10K, you're going to need batteries, and you're going to need a way to charge those batteries. So that's where you're going to be looking at, time to get an alternator. But the average person, most of the people that are in the comments, there's very rarely are you going to need an alternator in the vehicle, especially if you're getting a better amplifier that's way more efficient. But I don't know. We will be talking about amplifiers you might want to get an alternator for here in a second. Go ahead and turn that off. But before we get to that, before we get to talking about that, it is what I like to call that time. What time? This time. It's Moscone DSP quick tips time. That's right. Today we're going to learn about some quick tips with our good friends from Moscone. And let me pop this guy.
I'm not sure I understand.
I didn't either,
She's Siri. She doesn't understand anything. Where's it at? There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so you get a DSP. You've never touched a DSP before. You buy a high-end DSP like the Mosconi. You get it in, let's say this is an 830 because, hey, you're the best and you deserve it. That's all I have to say about that. But fortunately enough, when you get into these higher-end DSPs, like we've talked about, the software is the same through all of them. But you're still sitting there going, there's all this. Where do I begin? Where do I begin? Fortunately, some manufacturers, Mosconi, one of them, has this cool feature right here. If we come up to these buttons where it says, my buttons work, where it says, okay, hold on, where it says preset, we're going to come down here to where it says set up wizard. We're going to click on it. It's going to take a second, and we get this cool page right here that pops up for us to look at. Now, this is designed to make your life a heck of a lot easier. So we're going to look over here and we're going to say set up system. And this is, for those of you guys that are like Kenwood Radio fans, they have something very similar to this built into it where you can kind of walk through and tell it what it is, and it'll give you a generic tune and it'll help you get going, which is really what we want. So what size car do I have? We have a small car, a mid car, a big car, a van. No delay measurements at all. Now, if you did a little bit of work before you started this and actually took your delay going from your driver's headrest out to all the corners of the car, then you wouldn't have to do this. You can manually come over here where it says speaker distance and just enter that in and save yourself the time. However, if you didn't do that, we'll just say, hey, I have a small car. All right. And now we're going to say, all right, going down the page, method. Are we going to go RC inputs? Or are we going high level input? And that's what these are asking. Normal input would be RCA or low level, and high power would be if you're going to be going integration style into a factory amplifier. For this, we'll click normal. And then the secondary input would be if I'm going to add something like if I'm going to use something like a Bluetooth module or streamer of some kind, or take advantage of the Toslink input or anything along those lines, I could then put them in here. Next, I'm going to come up to front configuration. This is going to be inputs 1 and 2. However, you can make it whatever input you want, and because you click on the drop-down menu here and you can choose. So if you're going to be doing, let's say, an F-150 that has an A to B system in it, and you're going to be using second input as a Toslink input, then you would select SPDIF Toslink input down here. Okay, but we're not going to worry about that. We're going to sit here and go analog. Now, are we going to do passive? We're going to be two-way active or three-way active? You're getting the idea here where it's just asking us simple questions. So we'll say three-way active. It's going to say choose a tweeter. Now, if you're fortunate enough to where you went off and you bought some Gladen speakers because the company is Mosconi Gladen, then your life is on point because you can simply just pick the tweeter you bought and it'll populate the information for you. However, if you didn't do that, no problem. It says right here, the first thing that says any tweeter 3.8K hertz. So we're just going to select that because, we don't know what tweeter we have at the point in time, but that'll at least give us a tweeter crossover point. Now we want them to be on channels 1 and 2. It says channel 1 plus 2. That's not bridging. That is just telling us it's going to be channels 1 and 2 are going to occupy this tweeter. Next, we'll choose a mid-range. In this case, we're going to put a 3.5 or 4-inch in that location. So we're going to pick the 100 millimeters. That's going to give us some predetermined crossover points so we can get going. And we'll pick inputs 3 and 4. And then our mid-bass. We'll pick a 165 millimeter speaker, which is technically a 6.5. And then we'll select 5 and 6. Yeah. So now we have those set up, and you see where it's red right here, and that's because down here it's still thinking it's 5 and 6. So now we're going to do some rear passives, semi-active, or three-way. So we're going to leave it on passives. We're going to choose here where we're going to just say, what do we want? Actually, you know what? We're going to say none on the rear, okay, because we're not going to do rear. We're going to do like a 110. So we'll say we're going to put 110, and we're going to use inputs 3 and 4. No, 5 and 6. Yep, yeah. We're going to use inputs 5 and 6. Our subwoofer is in the trunk. Is it in the front? Is it under the seat? It's under the seat. And then we will say it's going to be a 10-inch. So we're just going to grab one of these 10-inch here. And they're going to be on channels 9 and 10. And now over here, it's asking us the distance. So it's gone ahead and it's put in a small vehicle's guesstimated distance. So this would be like if you had a radio and you just picked, you know, the left side, the right side, the front side. It's doing the same thing. It's just giving us something we want to hear sound. We want to get rocking and rolling. All right. So we have our choice. Store in all presets, store in preset 1, or exit. I'm going to select store in all presets for right now. That way, if for some god-awful chance I accidentally hit a button, it won't delete everything. Yes, we'll select OK. Now it's going to do its cool little flippy, and you saw the lights flash like that, and it's all set up now. So now if we come over here to this, it says it's actually gone through and said, so any tweeter, any mid-bass, any 6.5, and then we have a sub connected here. If we click on this and we look over here on the left, we can see it's populated it with some crossover points for us. If we're fine with those, we can leave them. If we want to adjust them, we'll go ahead and adjust them at this point. But at least now we can tune on our system, we can hear some sound, and we can start moving on to our next testing, phase correction, balance and fader, and all those other fun things. I would not rail on the system at this point because you're not done. This is just allowing us to turn on the system and start to do further testing. But this has allowed us to get into the DSP rather quickly so that we can move on to our next step. And this, my friends, has been Mosconi Quick Tip DSP. Yeah, all of that. Oh my gosh. Anyways, there you go. If you'd like to know more about Mosconi or any of the Mosconi Gladen products, of course, you can head over to this place right here, Mosconi-America.com. The amp we just talked about was the 830, but of course that could be anything. I love doing DSP Live. It's so much fun. All right, give me some questions. DNF, would you go optical 2-channel or RCA 4-channel? I'm assuming optical and handle any future rear fill with DSP. That's a great question. We run into this a lot when we're doing amp pros, specifically A to B, because in certain manufacturers pack A to B piece, a lot of the times you end up getting noise, engine noise, which is really kind of odd. So what we've done is we've actually, on an amp pro or similar products like that, all the outputs work simultaneously. So you have your optical works the same as your RCAs all at the same time. And so what we'll do is when we install those products, we will go optical as well as RCAs into the amplifier. So we fill all the holes. Then what happens if we do get noise, we will automatically switch inputs 1 and 2 to the optical input. Noise is gone. So then you say, well, why don't you just do that from the beginning and not worry about it? Well, the reason why we don't do that is because in vehicles like that, the rear backup sensors actually play through the rear speakers. And when you decide to go full optical, you get left channel and right channel, not left, right, front, rear. And what happens at that point is that all your sensors now go left and all your sensors now go right. So if the customer is used to having backup sensors in the rear speakers, they're no longer there. They're the whole left side of the car. Now, common sense would say if you're backing up, then more than likely you know that that's a rear sensor, but it can be a sticking point. The other thing too is if it's one of these, like they have a family members, kids, and they're in the back seat and they go on trips and they like to fall asleep, there's no way to turn those down so that the kiddies can take nappy poos. Okay, so then what we'll do is we will use the rear RCAs into the rear speakers. Now you go, well, won't those have noise? And you go, no, they won't have noise because we're going to turn those into a rear effects channel. So they're going to get bandpassed. And once they get bandpassed, guess what? That removes all the high frequency, which in turn removes all of the engine noise. Subwoofer, we got nothing to worry about because if you're hearing engine noise through a subwoofer, you're doing something wrong. So now, continuing down this rabbit hole as far as the future goes, iData has come out with their A to B piece and also the new AR2. If you buy an iData compatible amplifier, such as an Arc Audio Blackbird or a Audison Forza piece of equipment, they've taken considerations. They have features that other amplifiers won't have because it's a data connection along with the Toslink connection. So when you do these amplifiers, the fader now becomes a digital command from the radio. So I don't have to jump through those hoops. I can just plug it in and I can get it to do things like fade and do things like, report the noise where it needs to go because I've added data to the situation. So it does make things kind of cool. You're also going to start seeing this from radios. Ooh, but that's a whole nother story. So go with God, pick which one you like. Next.
Christian want to know.
Can you go back to the setup wizards and show me how you tell them it's going to DSP1 center speaker at the setup, please, or just center like sub but different output? I don't think I know what he's asking, but I'll give it a shot. Of course, I've already put the computer to sleep, so
of course.
I think I know what he's asking. All right, give it a second. I gotta wait till this thing. Window.
Okay, I'm just gonna put.
Yeah, just put up another question.
Other than the ES 9500, what other stereo stuff will be going on Fernando's car? Well, it's a lot of things that we would love to do. Amplifiers, a 3-way set, subwoofer, cut the whole entire back of the car. And go IV. I want to cut a hole under the seats.
Okay, he's
8-inch.
He's
lost it. I'm just gonna go and compete.
As far as Fernando's car goes and stuff like that, right now we have the Morels in there. We have the 9500 in there. We're gonna walk our way through this. We also have the Thinkware dash cam in there. There's a lot of stuff that is going to happen. But some of it we can't talk about right now because we're working on deals with other manufacturers in order to test some stuff out. So that's kind of the future. Right now, the car will probably sit the way it is for another couple, maybe next month.
Probably by then.
We're thinking about adding a subwoofer into it because that's next. So we'll add some form of a sub into it. Probably some form of a small DSP amp just to get something in there so that we can do rear fill. But it's just one of those things where it's,
Holy moly, look who it is.
I know, I was going to say.
Wow.
What's up, Junior?
What up, bro?
All right, let me go back to this real quick. I'm going to shut this off. It's so, Christian, I don't know if this is what you mean, but if you're talking about like 9, you want 9 to be the subwoofer and you want 10 to be the center channel, you can obviously come in here and label this center channel. The subwoofer, the name of this is center sub, okay? And that's predetermined. If we come here, we can call this whatever we want. So if we just want to name it output. We can call it that. It really doesn't matter. And then we can come, so it's not going to do anything. But what you really need to concentrate on is over here where this says locked. Once you unlock it, now channel 9 can be one thing and channel 10 can be another. So you can as far as, because now you can change the crossover points. You have 2 separate equalizations. So, if you want that output to be something specific, you have to unlock it here. And then if you come over, so that's that. And then if you're going to look at the EQ, it's going to do its thing. But you'd want this on its own EQ. And then you would unlock these groups. So you would unlock all. Okay, so with them unlocked, now you're going to use this top EQ for subwoofer and use this bottom EQ for center channel. I don't know if that's what you meant, but that's the only thing that made sense when you asked that. So otherwise, you know how to get a hold of me, and we can go from there.
It's over there.
I don't know what you can go talk to him if you want. I think we got to put the boards in front of the windows from now on. Dean, never noticed until recently, but I have what I assume is a PWM, pulse width modulation noise. Only happens when lights are on or when I step on the brake pedal. Ooh, It's very faint suggestions. Thank you. Oh. That is a great question. Oh, it's still sitting in my car. Man. Noise typically sucks. I think what you're going to have to do is figure out where it's coming from, so to speak. I mean, is there a passive crossover next to, or a speaker wire that might be next to? So maybe try disconnecting some wires from the amplifier or unplugging some RCAs. Because remember, your car is packed full of noise. So it could be something that is radiating into the amplifier from a module that is close to something that shouldn't be close to it. So something like that, that's probably where I would start. That's why when running wires, you really want to stick as close to the factory harness as possible, because especially when you're going through the dash, because you never know what is going to be radiating noise. But that's where we would start. The other thing you can try too is the old school, where you put RCAs in the radio or your source unit and drape them back in the amplifier and plug them in, so that you can see if the noise is coming over that. Okay, thank you. I did it correct. Oh, okay. Just want to know if you did it correct. All right, good idea. You all right?
Note to self: we have to change the hours on the website.
Oh. Yeah, because he leaves at 5 when we start the show.
Yeah.
Which is funny. Okay, go ahead and pull something up here. I'm going to bring up our next.
Oh.
Ooh, we got 2 to choose from. I'm going to pull up this one here first. So just get the next question in queue. Hey, the next guys that sponsor this show is Audio Control. Hey, did you know that Audio Control has a brand new line of amplifiers called the Altitude? This is the 800.1. We just did a dyno of this live a couple weeks ago when we had our good friend Matthew Palumbo from Audio Control on the show. Guess what I learned this week?
What?
He's going to be on the show again next week. We're going to have him on.
Again?
Yeah, he's going to be on Wednesday. So this Wednesday coming up. And the reason why he's coming on is because maybe you've seen my video where we talk about this new Epic series amplifier.
Epic.
It's epic for sure. So it's a new line of amplifiers, new line of cost-effective amplifiers that are coming out. They're on the website right now for pre-order, and boy, are they pre-order. And they're discounts for sure. But he's going to come on. He's going to talk about them. We're going to check them out. We're going to see what they are. We've, of course, already touched and felt them, but we'll bring them in so that you guys can kind of get an idea of what they look like.
I mean, I was about to say, because you just built a whole thing.
I built a whole. Yeah, I know. We're just waiting for them to publish it so we can put ours out.
Oh, they know.
I know. But if you'd like to know more about
what?
Camera's going crazy. That was neat.
The fuck's point?
Yeah, it's fine now. I think the box just threw it off. Anyways, if you'd like to know more about this Altitude or Epic Series amplifiers, make sure to head over to audiocontrol.com. What?
That was it. That was the altitude of the amplifier throwing out the...
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Tommy.
Greetings from Harbor Island. Lost my Corvette. Yeah, Harbor Island. I could see that. That sucks. He's angry.
Yeah. Sorry, man. But hey.
Pulled the Arc Audio Blackbird that I bought from you guys out before the storm arrived. Installed it in the house temporarily. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks, but,
Hopefully you get your new car soon, and then you can put it up.
All right. So, do focal amps have the same sharp sound like the tweeters? $5 send you to buy. Thank you for the $5.
Thank you, man. No,
the amplifiers are as acoustically flat as they can make them. I mean, the amplifiers are just no. The tweeters are what they are. They're hard dome tweeters. They do what they do, and that's what people love.
I think the best combination between Focada will be the Mosconi amplifiers,
and Focal
speakers. Yeah, Glane speakers, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But no, they're just normal amplifiers. You can run any type of speaker you want with them. They have a nice warm sound to them, just like you would expect.
Nice warm.
Yes.
There you go.
Hi. I have JVC double DIN stereo and a DMA10. My question is how I set up the gain on the DMA10. Boy, and that is a question, right? Because let's see. I don't know why I keep shutting this computer off.
Everybody. There you go. Everybody. She's here.
Oh, Mary Lou made it.
Everybody stop.
So there's 2 gains in a audio control.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And if I can get my computer to turn back on. Okay. Oop, got it. All right, let's shut this off. Okay. And then we'll go over here to this. See, this is why I need a smaller Windows computer. I need a new computer.
Yeah?
Yeah. I need 2 new computers now because the home one, no, this one sucks.
The desktop is gone.
Yeah, it's just, anyways. All right, so DMA 10 is actually the first thing that comes up. We'll come over here to 4. Okay, so let me turn this off for a second. All right, so your input, input here, input view. This right here is your input gain, okay? So this is designed to maximize the input from your head unit. So you're going to turn your head unit up to its maximum output. This light right here is going to tell you when you've reached the amount. Now, if you want to play a tone, great. Really, I would recommend just playing some really dynamic music and then turn this up, okay, until this light comes on. Now, here's the deal. I typically will not screw with this at all. I will just leave this at 0 until the very end, okay? Over here, see, this is where everyone gets kind of bummed out. This level right here, if you go to this, because this is your output level, all right? And it comes all the way up because that's 0, all right? It doesn't do any plus. It's just 0 as a thing. So one of the things that we like to do is I will actually come in and I will turn these all down to -3. Okay, -3, -6. Pick whichever one you want. Okay, and the reason for that is because now I've set my new 0 point and I will have some flexibility as time goes on, because nothing sucks worse than getting all done with it, get your time alignment all set up and get everything sounding wonderful, and you need to shift left or right. Okay, well, if you remove all the energy from one speaker, it's not gonna perform the way you want. So by reducing that input signal, that output level down so that you have a new 0 point, because in the end you can always come back here and you can just adjust this back up those 3 dB if you need to, or keep going until this light just is okay. And that's really about it. With the audio control, that's how I deal with this gain structure that they have on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Good question. I'm just going to leave it open. I'm just going to shut it off so I don't have to look at this. Yes, I will lose my tune. And that works for all of the DSPs that they make, whether it be an 810, all of them. They all work the same. Okay. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Oh, swizzle sticks. All right, here we go.
2019 RAM 1500.
Yep.
Going with the Miller Legend 3-way active up front, wanting to be clear and loud. Cento 6x9s in the rear doors, 210 milli Pro shallows, nice. Does the Addison 8-channel amplifier with the 14-channel DSP.
Okay, so they make 2 of those. Make sure you get the bigger one of the 2. Okay. Now, I believe they make a 12-channel amplifier, which to me would be the better buy, because those Milli Legend 6.5s really need a lot of power. And I would go with the bigger amplifier so that I could bridge it back down. So I would put like 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 on those mid bass and really give them some power. Okay. That way I can get loud, as you said. So that might be spend a little bit extra money and go with the next size up. It's the biggest one they make.
MA14 is the biggest one.
Well, that sucks. I thought that. Oh, I'm thinking of Helix.
Bro.
Well, you could also go with the. I mean, if you're just trying to get one amp to do everything, probably not. They have the companion amps.
Yeah.
So that, or just do a Blackbird and a Nighthawk.
Yeah.
I don't know, 2 Nighthawks, or just get one of the companion amps. Either way, I think the only problem you run into is that the mid bass might not be enough. Might not have enough power there for that.
it's just
Yeah. What?
yeah. No, I would go just care about the fronts, and then just later on just get like a small 2-channel for the rears.
Well, no, you could
You know.
you could get the small companion amp.
Yeah.
Except we did have Ken on this week, so we do have that part 2 that you guys have been waiting for forever will be out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When?
This next week.
Come on, man. You're lacking.
I'm not lacking. It's totally what it is.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. So they just have the M14. No, they have the 1214. He's wrong. Christian's full of crap. He doesn't know nothing. Ooh, right there. See? I told you. They have a 1214. Tell me something. Yes. 12 to 14. Yep. That's what you get.
Yeah.
You're wrong, Christian. So sad. So sad. Get to 12 to 14. Done. So you have, more power. Like it. What do we got? Specifications. Good. Yeah. No, I'm excited. 12 channels. Yeah. And it's got 2 staggered power channels. So.
Yeah. You ready for the next one?
Yeah, I'm ready for the next one. I'm over this. What do you got? Okay. If I was to swap out my F-150 Sony radio for a 908, 958, get the 958, with front and rear feeding my Blackbird. Sorry, Brian. Okay. Would it give me the warning sounds from the appropriate speakers? Yes. Yeah. So, swapping out the Sony radio, you're going to need obviously the iData kit, because that's the one you're going to go with. You're going to go, and I think that's the FOR1 on that one. I'm not sure. Yeah, RR for sure. Everything's going to work the way it's supposed to. So, yeah, just go with that. Go front and rear into the amplifier for sure. Don't worry about Brian. He's, the whole rear thing is silly. With the JLC7 mid-range having 100 watts power handling, would it be a bad idea to bridge 2 VXI channels to output 200 watts and attenuate with tune to an acceptable power level, trying to get cleaner output? Yeah. Listen, I'm a big fan of power. As long as you know what you have and you set it up the appropriate way, you're fine. You're fine. There's no reason. I listen. Like, everyone saw pictures of Brian's car. He's got these giant amplifiers, and then there are 1 million watts on like 2 tweeters that he might get a watt out of. But yeah, I'm all about having power. What's up?
He's Javier, not Junior.
Oh, it's Dad.
That's Javier, man.
My bad, Dad. Sorry. What's up, buddy? So earlier this week, we all got the news that Mr. Steve Mead has been working on amplifiers with DS18. And I don't think you've had the time to take a look at these things yet. So I thought, even though normally this would be something reserved for the news, here's all the amplifiers here. So we have a 2001, a 3001, a 5001, an 8500 one. And then we have a 4-channel, which is 4x200, 4x300, 4x500.
Yeah.
And then we have a 5-channel, which is 250. Now, these are 2 ohm rating, guys. So 250 times 4 AB. And then we have 1800 watts, class D. So we have an ABD amplifier for this big guy right here.
That's cool.
$850 retail. So this is the guy.
That's the 5-channel.
This is the 5-channel.
That looks cool.
There's Angry Steve. It's got that. We've all seen that. But this is the amp. I think these things are pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I think these are pretty badass.
Lighting and then everything.
I dig it. I feel it's very Steve. This is what I wanted to take a look at. So we have bass boost. It looks like we have bass boost on every channel. So so we have a bass boost on every channel. So we have gain, we have a bass boost frequency, we have bass boost, and then we have high pass, low pass crossovers. So each channel Yeah. Okay. Wow. So I guess that's kind of like punch bass, because like a Rockford is going to has punch bass on each channel. So they do different things for different things, but we can do low pass or high pass. So I guess you could use this as a whatever, as far as the configuration goes. But it's a big amp, man. That's a tall amp.
Yeah.
But anyways, congratulations to Steve for coming out with these. I know some of you guys out there are going to be like, oh my God, I can't wait to get them. And I can understand that, because they definitely look fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah.
I would like just to have one with lights powered up in the back, just hanging on the wall with lights. I think that would be pretty cool. The next sponsor is brought to you by the fine folks at Arc Audio. Oh my gosh, Moto line of speakers. Hey, it's funny. Today I had a guy come in that was like, dude, I just want my stuff to make my eyelids hurt. And I was like, hey, I have a really nice set of 6x9s that might be what you're looking for. They'll make your eyelids hurt, but they'll also sound good doing it. He goes, ooh, bonus. And that is this guy right here. This is the Moto CX69 6x9-inch high energy 6x9-inch speaker from Arc Audio. If you're looking for something that will dude, this is a monster 6x9. It's got a nice magnet on the back. It's 95 dBs of efficiency. We'll come over here and I'll get the rest of the cool specs, because I have that queued up here on my laptop. 125 watts of power handling with a peak power of 300 watts. Frequency response is 50 to 20,000 hertz. Yeah, they got a really neat thing that they're talking about for the magnet, which it's a one-piece T-yoke motor design, cast and then CNC refined for alignment, accuracy, and optimization, the magnet structure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. It's a cast basket. This is a cast basket 6x9. So this is not a stamped steel. It could be biamped if you wanted it to, obviously, because the tweeter is on this little bridge area here. So you can see I can put my hand underneath it. So this is a watertight design. The surround is inverted. That way, when it comes up, it doesn't hit the bridge that's in the way. The bridge is actually screwed into place in the front, and it looks like it's, because it uses its screw. And then these two are attached. This is when you screw it in or cover it. I don't know why you'd want to take that off. That would be kind of silly. Cap coil are built into the side here. So if you're looking for a high-end, loud-ass 6x9, check out the Moto CX69 from Arc Audio. And, of course, you can head over to arcaudio.com, where you can find out more information on said speaker. They also make a 6.5. It looks just like it. So it's probably the 65. I don't have the thing. Oh, I have a computer in front of me.
Wow, that's crazy, really.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's ridiculous.
It is.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
Hi, guys. I have a 2024.
It's just the 6. It's a CX6. Sorry. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
2024 VW T1.
What are the odds of that? Like 2 in one day.
2 in one day. On order, I'm sorry, with the non-amplified system, what would be the best integration module to run a multi-channel system? Looking at the audio control amplifiers and speakers. Thanks.
So there again, it's 2024 Tigran, non-upgraded audio. So it's a Volkswagen.
Yes.
And this is one of those situations where sometimes you need to really step back and go, I'm looking at the wrong stuff, okay? Poor life choices or just wanting to be a fanboy of something isn't always the best option, because the Volkswagen stuff, especially the base model audio, uses their amplifiers and the radios are typically what's called an SB amplifier, okay? And that's a very unique amplifier. It's the same amplifier style that's in the new Broncos that is causing everyone heartache. The easiest way to interface with something like that is not using an audio control amplifier. There are 2 other amplifiers that are designed to seamlessly integrate with this because, well, they're German. One of those is this guy right here, which is the Mosconi, and the other one is a Helix amplifier. Now, both of those have SB high-level inputs that will allow you to integrate directly into your factory radio and do all the necessary load conversions so that the new system will sound as good as possible. Now, if you want to do standalone DSP, both both of those brands will allow you to do it as a standalone DSP. However, if you look at their amplifiers, so in the Moscone, which is what we'll talk about, we have the Pico line, we have the One line, which is this guy right here, as well as we have the Pro line, which is all across the top here. Any one of those three lines, anything with DSP built into it has SB compatibility, all set and ready to go. It'll make your integration super easy. That is going to be the most important thing when going into this car. So if you want to use the audio control speakers, by all means, go ahead and do that. However, I would recommend changing to either a Helix or a Moscone amplifier for your integration. It'll be way better.
Can you plug my power?
I would love to plug your power in. Your power is plugged in. Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, dude.
Boom.
That is fantastic.
Oh, what is Bobby saying here? Dean, thoughts on video of how Fernando makes his custom Nander fuse holders? I thought we've done that before. Have we never done that?
What? I mean, you make those. I mean, the reality is like you came out with the. I mean,
the Fernando fancy fuse holder
with the whole thing.
Well, I know I came out with it.
You just have to make a video. Then what was the process?
No, I think they want to hear you talk.
Hey man, just grab plastic, start bending, and just screw it in. Done.
There you go. Can't fault that. All right. Anyways, hey, any opinions on the Morel MPS 404 at the 500 price?
That's the MPS.
Is that the MPS?
Yes,
yeah, that's the MPS 404. So
it's AB.
Yeah, it is AB. Oh, it's a fantastic. I own 3 of them apparently. They're right there. That's what I was looking.
Yeah,
that's what we were both looking at because there's 3 of them sitting on the shelf right there. I'm a big fan. I bought them for a reason.
Yeah.
They sound fantastic. They make the 5-channel version, which is as we call the ABD amplifier, which is also fantastic. It is super clean. They also make the MPS 2.150 limited, which is an even like crazier amplifier. But no, if you're looking for just a really great sounding AB class amplifier, that's fantastic. You know, you bet. You guys have to be the hardest working audio guys ever. Off just Sunday?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
So one day off, man.
Yeah. That's why we travel as much as we can, because why not, right? It seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
You know? But like the sucky thing is like, so our week started last Monday. We worked, even though we were like out of town, we weren't in the install bay because we were, you know, it's just worked the whole time. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah. But
it still worked. DNF, what's your preference? 6000 or the 908? 958? I like the 958.
Really?
950. I mean, if I got to choose between one of those, depends on what you want to do. Okay, so here's the thing. Sony, fantastic radio. Kenwood, fantastic radio. If you want a radio as just a source unit, you don't want 10,000 buttons with flashy lights and all these things that are just going to get in the way of you playing CarPlay, you can't beat a Sony. Okay, the Sony just makes things simple. You hook it up. You got a button over here in the corner that says CarPlay. You can clean up the whole face, and there's nothing going on. It's like
simple.
What you see is what you get. It's really simple to use, and it sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay. Kenwood, on the other hand, is if you want to be a lot more involved in your radio. You want more buttons to push. You want more features. You want to do more with the sound. That's where you run into the Kenwood 908. Now, Sony also makes the 9000, which is the ES version. That's a fantastic radio. That has a lot of those features that we're talking about with the Kenwood. They're non-intrusive. So basically, if you watch the video on the 9500 that we did, the big floating screen, that's the same as the 9000. The 958, there again, is the XR 958, which is a little bit better. So choosing between one of those, keep in mind, do I want simple, clean, or do I want harder, clean? What double DIN has the best DSP? That's a tough one, man, because I think if we're just talking double DIN, if the 9000 has the same operating system as the 9500, I think it's going to have to be the Sony 9000 because the Kenwoods don't have the same operating system as the 10 series. So the 1007 or the 1057, because the 1057 probably has the most amount of adjustability. That's the floating screen 10-inch radio.
Yeah.
That one probably has the most amount of adjustability of any radio because it has the EQ, the parametric EQ. But the 9500 has a bunch of left and right features. But so does the Kenwood because it's in the parametric EQ. But if the 9000 series has all those same features, at that point it's stepping over the Kenwood because it has way more features than just a regular double din Kenwood. So I have to say the Sony 9000. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
Ken, you're welcome. Thank you for the $4.99. Yep.
Somebody say, yeah, Sean. I always say the 9000 ES, you know?
Yeah. It's pretty hot radio.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Sean.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Good night. Welcome.
Thinking about keeping things simple in
Oh.
my minivan install. What are your thoughts on the JBL DSP 4086 mini amplifier?
It's a cute little amplifier, and it is. If you're looking for simple, that's as simple as it gets, man. It's a fun little DSP to play with. It's tiny. It'll, depending on what you're trying to do, depending on what kind of minivan you have. Like if it's a Dodge, you might be in luck, and you can put an Amp Pro in there. So if it's an amplified, non-amplified Dodge, it really doesn't matter. Amp Pro will go right into it, and you'll get your clean RC outputs. You won't have to do that crappy high level to low level, which will even make that thing even more fun. Yeah. There again, don't know what kind of minivan it is, but it does have high level input, so you can just put it into a factory system and go with it. The software on it is super basic, so it's really simple to use. It's what we call a great My First DSP. We've done a couple little systems with them, and they're not bad. They sound really good. They sound good.
All right, have you guys worked in a 2017 Volkswagen Golf ESL with Fender Audio? We put some stuff.
Well, we've done a Fender system before. I think that's iData compatible, though.
I love the Golf.
I think you can do iData compatibility. I would head over to iData.
Yes,
because I think it'll integrate with the Fender system. So you can either do a DSR1, an AR2 when they start shipping. We have ours, or you could also do your ARC Audio. So because your ARC Audio is iData compatible, which means you should also be able to do Audison. But I would do ARC. So you could do a Blackbird, or you could do the PSM Pro, which is nice. That'll get you set up. But I would head over to see if that's compatible with it. That'll make your life way easier. For sure. Yeah. Back to house cleaning. Oh, the skew driver.
Thanks for all.
Yeah, I got that one.
Yeah?
Yep. Kenwood does have a really nice set of features.
It does.
When you look at the 9000, it has more features.
The reason why I picked the 9500 ES was because of the DAC, the Sony. We talked with Sony, and it's like, I want the GS9.
No, you talked with Sony.
I talked with Chris, and I say, I want the GS9 features. I want that DAC. If you're not, I don't care about the camera. I don't care. I would love to have the GS9. And Chris told me, just get the 9500 ES. It has a better DAC, and you will have the features and all that stuff. So that's the reason why. If you're not, I would have put the Kenwood, what is that thing
5800?
The 1057 XR.
Yeah.
Because it has a knob. I like the knob in the center. It's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. It's like be able to drive and just like.
I don't know if we could have fit that in your car because of the way the air conditioning goes up.
Yeah.
I had to mount it in the center.
That was the reason why I love the GS, because the GS9, it was like, it was beautiful. Yeah.
But it's still not modular. No, it's not. But
yeah.
January. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bobby, do you guys use ferrules on subwoofer wires to subwoofer spring terminals? Yes, we do.
Yes.
But you have to be really specific on that. Like, you need the longer ferrules.
Yes.
Okay, you can't use short ferrules because you need it to go all the way through. So in some cases, when we are out of ferrules, which does happens, we will just tin the wire. Tin the wire, and go from there. Either one of them will work. Either one of them will work. It's going to do the thing.
Well, sometimes when you put the cable, it goes like this, so it doesn't make a really
so you got to make sure
connection.
you use the longer ferrules that go through both picks. Scar sell boxes. Scar does sell boxes. Yes, they do. They actually,
boxes, bro.
they actually have these really nice OEM fit boxes, and I know they're nice because I know the guy that's designing them. He's a good friend of mine, and he doesn't do crappy work. But yeah, some of these new OEM Scar boxes are like badass. They're all fiberglass. They're all made to fit. We just did one this week in a Nissan. Was it Nissan or Toyota?
Toyota.
Yeah, we did the Tundra. We just buy the boxes.
That's Tacoma, man.
Sorry, Tacoma. We did the Tacoma box. We just buy the raw boxes from them. I'm trying to get them to make them without the big Scar logo on them because I think they'll do better, or a replaceable badge that goes down on the bottom. But yeah, but no, they're pretty badass boxes. Bronco owners have started using
Museway
think
M6.
the Museums. No, I wouldn't do that because they're not SB compatible. If they're doing high level, they're going to be really disappointed because they're going to get a lot of distortion when they turn the volume up. But if they're doing the like if they have the BO system and they're doing the integration that way with either an Amp Pro or something like that, no, that's fine. You can use anything you want. But that's why, like, we either in a Bronco, if it's a factory base audio, it's either getting a Helix or it's getting a Moscone. That's it. Now, they do have high level, low levels. Both those guys do make high level to low level adapters that have SB compatibility built into them so that you can just do it from the high level to low level adapter. The problem is they're very hard to get a hold of because they just sell out really fast. They don't bring enough of them over because they figure most people are just going to do the amplifiers. You can try using a 10 ohm load resistor, which you can get from Metra. It's the new purples, which do work pretty well, but nothing works as good as the SB. Hey guys, any suggestions on a box for a 2018 F-150 crew cab under the seat for 2 full-size 10-inch Rockford P3s? The only option I'm seeing is Fox Acoustics, and that is correct. That would be the box we would put in.
Yeah.
We put a ton of those in. That's our go-to box, and that's what we do. We do 2 P310s in the Fox Acoustic box. We also get the grills for those. You're going to need the grills. Always do the grills because you want to make sure that those woofers, it's an aluminum cone. You don't want anything to get and you'll just ruin the woofer. So we use that box. So Fox Joe is a great guy, makes fantastic boxes.
Now, I will also say, if
I've
you
never
want a
met-
really nice, crazy box, you can contact Bobby Gailey boxes. And
For underneath the seat? I don't think they sell an F-150 box underneath the seat.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, just call them. Believe me, they will.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. Either way, the Fox box is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, the Fox box is cool.
Just go with Fox. He's nuts when it comes to this stuff.
Who?
Joe Fox.
Who's Joe?
I literally told it's like he is so like this is one guy that loves what he does, man.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Oh,
he is revolutionizing the box building. Like he bought, dude. Are you kidding me? Like he bought that $100,000 machine that just makes cardboard boxes for shipping his boxes out.
Yeah.
He's nuts. The guy's great.
Oh, wait. Right there. Yes.
Yeah.
So we paused the live show because of Angel. He was not here, so we stopped. Now that he's back, let's go back to the show.
Yeah. So where did we leave off? We left off and hey guys, that's the show for you. Thanks so much for tuning in on Saturday. We'd like to thank you, the viewers, for asking us questions, having fun with us, and hopefully you got something out of today's show. That's always great for you guys to come along. We'd also like to thank our supporters, the guys that pay the bills and make this happen, which of course is our good friends at thinkwheresstore.com, audiocontrol.com, Arc Audio. You can find them at arcaudio.com, as well as Moscone, Gladen, and Focal. There again, Moscone,
Gladen,
America.com, Focal-America.com. It all kind of, they're anyways. Without them paying the bills, the lights would be off, and that would suck. Either way, that's what we have for you today. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Yes, there you go. Happy belated birthday, Fernando.
Thank you, guys.
You guys have a great day off.
Yes.
And that's all we got. You guys are wonderful. Thank you much for tuning in. If we didn't get to your question, we apologize. There's always Monday. There's always Monday. And if you're looking for tools, make sure to head over to dnftooldrar.com where you can find all the cool tools that we use to do our installs. Like the IRTA2.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.